for all who bleed. A world of equality they sought, where battles ceased and souls were bought. But today's media hides the grim. 900 bodies lost, a haunting hymn. Corpses on porches washed by the tide.
Hello folks, this is Gabriel Vega Jr. I just want to remind people that we're living in end times here. When you look at Midas, I went to Midas to get my car fixed because it needed ball joints. It was Friday, my ball joints my wheel fell off, and then so I got towed to the house, and I had Lalo come over and fix it. He did it in about, I don't know, he took about 15 minutes to take it apart. We went to the auto parts store, got the parts, took about an hour, came back, and he put all the parts in about 30 minutes. I was rolling. That was tie rods and the ball joints. Okay, next day, I figure, I better go ahead and get the other side done too. So I called Lalo up, and he said, no, he can't do it because it's a weekend and all this stuff. So I said, well, I'm gonna go down to find a place to put it in real quick since the weekend's here. And we just came across Midas, and Midas decided that I showed him the parts that we bought. I bought some parts, and they said, yeah, they can put it in 4 hours, and he charged you $500. I say, okay, good, let's get it done. So I'll have it done on Saturday, and everything will be fine. Because I didn't want that other wheel to fall off and me get into an accident. And so I got into the shop, and he couldn't fit. Instead of fixing it, they were eating lunch and looking at me, making fun of me and mocking me for some reason. The guy that worked there and trying to get all my personal information. That was Tori did that. Robert's the one that they're both managers, Robert and Tori. Robert's the one that went ahead and made the deal and he said, I'll do it for $500 and I won't even charge you tax, $500 on the door. But so I signed something that said $527, and he said, I'll do it for $500, don't pay attention to that. So anyway, they didn't do it that day, and then the next day they had an excuse, next day they had an excuse. Then finally they got on the lift, and they did put the two upper joints in, and they supposedly finished the upper joints. Yeah, they did. They said they were finished and took the tie rod in. And so I went to leave. Went to the office, paid them, went to leave 4 days later or something like that. It was like Wednesday, I believe. It was Wednesday. No, it was Tuesday. They were done. Somewhere around, I don't remember, but it's all documented on my website there. I try not to remember that horrific scene. But the point is, they lied. They left so I got my receipt in hand, went to the car. It was still on the lift, and I went and looked at, where's my old parts? And they showed it to me in the box. Fine, okay. And then I looked, and then I looked at the ball joint. It wasn't replaced. It was still old and greasy, it was just sitting there. And I said, well, what happened? Why don't you replace the ball joint, the lower ball joint? And then I looked in the box. They didn't say shit. They didn't even open their mouth. And I looked in the box, and there it was, a brand new box. It was still in the wrapper. And I said, why did you replace it? Blah, blah, blah. They didn't even give me an excuse. So they were like stunned. And I caught them with their hand at the cookie jar. And they said, well, I'll just, let me get this ball joint out. And they were closing. It was already 6 o'clock, so they had to close. And I got the ball joint, and they told me to come back tomorrow. So I came back tomorrow early. I sat there and waited, and the corporate guys were there. I sat there in the office for at least a couple hours. They didn't even touch it. So I said, I had something to do. I've been there for 2-3 days waiting in the waiting room and outside. I've been out. I must have spent 2 days, 10 hours a day there. And I got the ball joint, and I still have the ball joint. At that time, I had the ball joint. So anyway, I got out of there. I got fed up. They said, come back tomorrow. I went back tomorrow. And then they said, we'll set you an appointment for 2 o'clock. So I came 2 o'clock. We can't do it at 2 o'clock. Come back. We don't have the tool. We don't have the press. And that was it. I got off. I had to yell at Robert and tell him, hey, I paid for $500 3 hours. And then he started screaming back a little infant, like a little child. And I said, oh, forget it. These guys something's wrong with them mentally. So anyway, I got out of there. I called Lalo. I said, Lalo, that's it. You're my buddy, man. Ain't nobody gonna touch this car but you. And Lalo came over just yesterday. Today is Saturday, so yeah, it was Friday. So this was a 1 week ordeal. Today's Saturday, so now we're back. He did that on Friday. He only works on Fridays on my car for some reason. It just happened that way. So he came down. And he said, okay, I'll come down and fix it. And he came down in 30 minutes. Sure enough, I had the ball joint. I timed him. It was like 30 minutes. Boom. Maybe a little over, but whatever. And then I said, well, make sure they did. I asked him, did they do the job right? He said, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. They had this. They stripped the nut. He said, take it back to him. I said, I'm not going back over there, man. I don't want to go back over there. Just forget that. Yeah, there could be some serious incidents if I go back over there. So he showed me the strip nut. I went and looked. I went to. He says you have to charge $50 more. I said, wait a minute, I was just a little nut. Well, you put it back on for me because I've been driving it like that anyway, all stripped out, and it was all loose and raggedy and stuff like that. You know, if that cotter pin came out, my steering would have been no more. It would have been gone. I would have been in an accident. So I finally found it at O'Reilly's downtown there. I found that nut. It's a special nut. The metal has to be. It's lighter than the metal of the stud, but it'll fit on there nicely once you buy the nut, and that's the proper. It's called a castle nut, and I put it on there, and it cost me $10.99 plus the gas to go get there, so that's another $10. So in my time, of course, wasted my whole day putting that castle nut on there, and I still need to buy a decent cotter pin. It's got one now, but I got to go buy another one. But still, it's solid now. I tightened it up, and it's solid. It's tight. It's working, and that was a nightmare. It really was. And then they tried to extort me for more money during the process when Tori, because Robert set the deal, and they were like tag team wrestlers. So when I paid $500, I went, and he wanted me to go pay an office. He says, "Well, it's so many hours, and I'm gonna charge you more money." And it was like over $1,000. And wait a minute, I have a contract with Robert. It was, and then they found, oh, okay, so I paid $500. And $527. They didn't give me the $500 deal like he promised. So yeah, this is extortion. It's criminal offenses. If you put a strip nut on there, eventually, yeah, that car's gonna come apart. And if I live to tell about it and go back and sue them, yeah, they could care less if I live. So this was attempted murder in my book. So I want the public to know about this. I want the police department to know about this. I tried calling the police department just now. They put me on hold. So I finally had to give up. So I decided to make this video, this voice testimony, and put it up on the webpage that I made about Midas. So I hope you all enjoy it. And please give it a thumbs up. And let's get the word out. Hey, the only choice we have nowadays is don't go to a shop, fix your own car, or buy new cars. And the new cars will last only 2-3 years before they have a problem. Then you go to the shop, and that's where they want you to be, in the shop. So it's a big racket, big scam. If you're just buy an older car, something that you can fix, not these new plastic cars that are all digital. They're all digital, and you have to trash them and throw them away, or go to a shop and get ripped off. Unfortunately, this is a reality, folks. We're in Elon Musk's world, and all these car manufacturing world, all these people that make cars, we're in their world. They control us. They're making the houses where they don't have driveways anymore. You can't even fix it in your own driveway. So it's pretty sad, folks. It's end times. I mean, it's a big setup from the beginning. Houses are right next to each other. I'm looking around these houses. They don't even have driveways. You can't even work on your own car. So yeah, it's all about that. The car manufacturers and the shops, they design the housing, the infrastructure of the cities, so that you pay to have them fix your car, and they extort money out of you. Because I was sitting there in Midas, and I saw some guy pay $5,000 for, I didn't know if his car, I didn't even see his car, but I'm pretty sure it's not, the repair wasn't worth $5,000. And, he has bills. That guy said he was renting an apartment and this and that, and he's paying $5,000 for a repair. Come on. And, wow. I don't know what to say, folks. It's over. In days, for sure. And you just trust Jesus and get to heaven and get raptured. That rapture should happen any minute. We'll get the hell out of here. All right, bye.